The add-on equipment for those cars, for those 4 units, would be about $12,555.60. And that includes everything from top to bottom, light bar, down to the push bars, all the necessary equipment to fully equip the cars, and that sheet's on their 4-5. I have the bids, and I also hand delivered it to the local.
Only 2 bids.
Only 2 bids. Yeah, I didn't get anything from Phil Long. Apparently I didn't know, but they can't do Dodge. But I did get it from J&J and Pioneers.
Was this a expenditure identified in the budget?
Yes, sir. I budgeted $33,000 to cover the lease of that vehicle for the first year, and then the subsequent years for the 5 years would be $33,000 a year to pay for it. When I finally get the go-ahead from council, I'll have to go back to the lease company. It's fluctuated between 5.3 and 5.6 for the interest rate. So once I get the final figures, give them to them, get the go-ahead from you, I'll get the contract. Jared will review that, and then we'll go.
Jared, are we able to?
I think we'll be just fine, Mayor Reno. The quotation that Police Chief Corioso has obtained, as he indicated, it is for a 5-year lease. It is a lease-to-own contract, and the interest rate would fluctuate until it's actually locked in. We wanted to bring this before the City Council due to the time frame, the duration of the bids that Police Chief Corioso has secured from our 2 bidders here. I don't anticipate any issues with this lease contract. The primary obstacle in these contracts is compliance with the Taxpayers' Bill of Rights, and Tabor would generally require us to go to a vote of the electorate if we were proceeding with a multiple-year fiscal obligation. However, we can defeat that requirement by including this non-appropriation language within the lease contract, and it overcomes that Tabor obstacle.
We leased purchased before, haven't we, Rose?
Yes, we
Yeah.
have. As long as we put the clause in there, we'll be fine.
The police department's leased several times, and this is the first time I've gone after marked units for it, and with this particular company.
Put that on the agenda for the next meeting. Thank you, Mr. Glorious. Item number 5. I'm sorry, do council members have any questions? Update on North Lake Dam project, Jim.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, you should have at your seating places,
Jim, just speak into the mic.
I'm sorry. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, I'd like to go through the proposed construction schedule with you for North Lake Dam and give you some, I'll be handing out some loan condition information shortly. In my memo dated February 24th, this is the information that's been handed to us by RJH. That's our engineering firm that's designed the North Lake Rehabilitation Project. As you are aware, we're working with Colorado Water Conservation Board to acquire a $739,235 grant. There is one correction on the memo. We were originally scheduled to be in Denver on March 21st. That's actually going to happen on the 20th, 1 week from today. So I will be going up for that hearing. We've been working very closely with Ms. Anna Moss. She's been very helpful to us.
Jim, before you go on, I thought we had already secured the grant.
No, sir. And I've been working on this for about 8 months now. So the 20th is when we'll find out for sure. It sounds very positive. It sounds like we're really going to get that grant, but no, it has not been secured.
Okay, if we don't get the grant, what are our options at that point?
If we do not get the grant, we have two options. That would be either to finance it completely through the Colorado Water Conservation Board or pay for it through our own reserves. And maybe this is a good time to hand this out. If you look at the first page of the draft from the Colorado Water Conservation Board, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, it itemizes the breakdown of the project. In that introduction, the first paragraph, essentially that $739,000 grant that we are seeking represents about 40% of the project. Under the conditions with CWCB, we have to provide a cash reserve of $369,616. The remaining balance, another $739,000, or another 40%, will be financed with CWCB loan. Now, the conditions for that loan are in the second paragraph. That we will charge the 1% loan service fee, but we are planning on a 10-year note at a rate of 2.50%. Those are the basic conditions of the loan that we will find out for sure if we're going to get that on, like I said, on Tuesday. If there are no questions, I'd like to go through the schedule a little bit.
Just one, what is the amount that would be taken for the water fund?
The direct cash reserves, Mr. Mayor, would be 20% of the project, or $369,616.
And the rest of it would be grant and loan application?
40% loan, 40% grant, and 20% matching cash reserves.
Jim, is this bid accurate for the expense now, because this has been going on for over a year and a half? Has anything changed on that? Do we need to update anything on that?
Councilman Shu, this is the engineer's estimate for the project. We won't know the actual dollar amount until we bid it out. And when we get into the schedule, we'll talk about that a little bit. But right now, construction projects have been coming in fairly low, so I think we're going to hold to that engineering bid. It sure looks that way. Well, with that being said, let's go through the schedule if we will. We'd like to begin the bid process in late March. And then we will schedule a mandatory pre-bid conference on April the 4th. We intend to open sealed bids on April the 26th. Hopefully have a contractor in place by May of this year. In the meantime, I will be acquiring a CDOT temporary construction permit to work around Highway 12 up there. I've already started that process. If all goes well, we'll issue a notice to proceed to the contractor on May 22nd. We're going to allow them 180 construction days. And completion of the project would be sometime in December 2012. Attached to my memo is a copy of the engineer's estimate, which, like I mentioned, is $1.8 million. I imagine there will be some change orders up there. There usually is in a project of this magnitude. But as of right now, we're going with the $1.8 million figure. And with that, I'll try to answer any questions you may have.
Been a long time in coming.
Yes, sir. We've been working very hard to get this.